Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to talk about this Portia Williams's relationship with Simon that's been all over the blogs. I have a couple of things to say about it. So, Portia Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta started to date her castmate's ex-husband called Simon. I don't know his last name. I cannot pronounce it. It's a serious tongue twister, so I'm not even going to try. But his name is Simon, right? And the whole news is blowing up because everybody is saying that Fallon, which is Simon's ex-wife, is a friend of Portia's. And if you listened to everything that's been said about Portia regarding this relationship with Simon, you would think that Fallon, which is Simon's ex-wife, and Portia were BFFs or something. You would think they were so close. Meanwhile, if you really look at it, you would come to find that honestly, they were barely friends. But before I get into that, I just want to say this. So, Portia and Fallon are in Real Housewives together. She was in the previous season, and Fallon has been married for 2 years. She was only married to the Simon guy for 2 years. I initially thought they've been married for many years. I thought all those kids were their kids. She came into the marriage with 3 of her kids. Simon has 5 kids from previous relationships. So together, Fallon and Simon have 8 kids. So they have a family. They have a big family. They live in a huge house. He's an entrepreneur. So she says she does some work as well. She doesn't really push her work though, but she says she has her own businesses as well. And yeah, so they have a family going and they're married and everything, right? And then Fallon joined the Real Housewives of Atlanta, where she met Portia. They were not friends prior to her coming into the show. And you can tell by the first time that Portia ever went to her house and saw her husband, like everything was caught on camera. So it's not like they were friends previously. And so she joined the show and she was in the show for 1 season. Things just were not going well for her at all. And fast forward to now, she seems to be going through a divorce, and it turns out now that Portia is dating her husband. And everybody is going crazy because they're saying that Portia stole her husband, Portia stole her friend's husband. And the first time I heard it, I was shocked. I was like, wow, really? Did Portia really do this? Because everybody made it seem as though Portia and Fallon were BFFs and they were real friends, like true friends, even outside of the show, and would hang out together and stuff. But the more I really looked at it, the more I realized that Portia and Fallon were co-workers. They were not friends. As a matter of fact, they do not meet any definition, in my opinion, of friendship whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying that it is okay to steal your co-worker's husband, of course not. But the way people exaggerate things online is just ridiculous. I really did think that they were friends. And honestly, I don't think they're friends at all. The only time that Portia has been to her house is with the group of girls, like other girls around, while the reality TV was being filmed. They never hung out by themselves. And even the Fallon girl herself, at first she said that Portia was very down to earth and very real. But later on, she said that she thinks that Kenya and Candy are the people that she really wants to be friends with, and that those are the people she feels closest to. So it seemed like she was kind of switching camps from being Portia's friend to being Candy and Kenya's friend. It was at that point I started to suspect that, I don't know about this whole friendship thing that everybody's talking about. I don't think they're as close as people are trying to make them to be. So then I saw this video of Tammy Roman where she was talking about how these TV shows tend to introduce new people as friends of cast members that are already known in the show so that the newer cast members will be more welcomed. And she thinks that that was what happened with Fallon and that she is not really friends with Portia. They just said so in the show to make people like her and welcome her to the show. And I really think that is the case. There is no photos of Portia and Fallon hanging out outside of Real Housewives. There's no real interaction between them even on social media, not that I have seen, except what's the few clips that we saw in the show. So I don't know why people are running with this idea that they're friends. So anyway, as far as I can see, I don't think they're friends at all. People are just, you know, trying to put that narrative out there. A lot of people seem to like Fallon. They said she's really sweet, she's very quiet, she's very this, she's very that. And that may be true, although from a few clips that I've seen of her, there seems to be something grainy though about her personality. I mean, the way she keeps throwing the word poor, like whenever you do something that she doesn't like, she would say, "Oh, that's what poor people do. That's what poor people do." She said it a few times. And, it's like she normally says it under circumstances where she has the right to get angry. But the fact that she just runs to that explanation and continues to say poor, 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 or broke, it's like she's very focused on money. And it seems she's very focused on her husband's money because she's not the one who created all of that wealth. The guy was wealthy before he met her, but she tends to say, "Oh, the empire that we built." She says that a lot. And I feel like there's something about her that a lot of people do not see. There's just something grainy about her, if you ask me. I don't know. I don't like people that are very quick to label people that have less than them, to look down on people that have less than them and talk about them being poor and just using that as an insult. And the fact that the other cast members of the Real Housewives are on Fallon's side doesn't surprise me because her husband is rich. Let's be honest, in show business and even in real life, people tend to take the side of the wealthier person. It's just easier to get along with the person with the most money and the fancier house with a bunch of cars. And so I'm not surprised that everybody have all these positive things to say about Fallon. I'm not saying Fallon is a bad person. I'm just saying that I'm picking up certain things about her that is kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if she's as sweet as they're making her out to be, especially with the way that she was quick to switch from saying she feels close to Portia and she was introduced as Portia's friend, and then suddenly now she's saying she feels closer to Kenya and Candy, knowing full well that Kenya and Portia are not friends at all. And since we're talking about the show, I just want to say something about Latoya. If you guys follow the show, I don't follow the show, but I was able to pick this up. Latoya to me sees things that a lot of people do not see. Her reaction might be a bit rough and a little too harsh, but I think that she is one of the most honest people on the show. She doesn't come across to me as fake at all or putting on airs. She sees things about people that a lot of people do not see, and I think she can really see Fallon for who she is. And a lot of people are so blindsided by her husband's money that I think they're not quite picking up on, you know, some of the things that she says, which I don't know, kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Another example is when Latoya was being interviewed. Um, and Latoya talked about why she does not like Fallon, and she said that Fallon made a statement about donating to candy cares, and Fallon said, "What is the limit on sending cash apps? I might have to write a check." And she said that as if she actually intended to make a donation to candy cares. But at the end of the day, Fallon did not make any donation. I mean, it's like, come on. She could have donated even just $5,000. She could have given that, but she didn't give anything. And Candy herself confirmed that Fallon didn't give anything. And so it got me wondering, why does she make these statements? So it's obviously not to help anyone with this wealth that she keeps flaunting. It's just to constantly remind people that they are poor and she is rich. Now, if you guys like the girl, that's fine, but I don't see what there is to like about that kind of a personality. I look past a person's pockets to determine if I like them or not. You kind of actually have to look at their character. And so far, I'm not seeing this sweet, nice person that everybody keeps talking about. That doesn't give Latoya an excuse to disrespect her husband. I don't think that's okay. However, I do see Latoya's point in saying that Fallon is kind of fake. She's not as genuine as people believe that she is.
So let's get to the whole husband fiance Simon with Portia relationship thing. Okay, so Portia is in a relationship with Simon, who is Fallon's ex-husband. They're still working out their divorce. I do not believe it has been finalized yet, but the marriage is at its end stage. And I have to say, though, that although it is easy to put all the blame on Portia and say that Portia came in and broke this woman's marriage, let's be honest, if they're already working through the divorce, then the marriage had been over for a long time. I'm probably going to say many months ago, the marriage was over, and this is just like the very final part of the marriage if they're already working through the divorce. So as much as we want to blame Portia for breaking this woman's marriage, I highly doubt that Portia is to blame for this. And quite frankly, I kind of get temporary vibes from Simon, the ex-husband. He just does not come across to me as someone who's truly ready to settle down with just one person. There's random girls showing photos on social media saying that they were in a relationship with him. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seemed like there's some evidence that they're in his car and they had his jacket. They're holding onto his jacket, and so maybe it wasn't a relationship. Maybe it was just like a casual thing.
But I still get very temporary vibes from Simon.
I don't think that he takes these relationships seriously, at least not as seriously as the girls. Because, I mean, he was only married to Fallon for 2 years and he already has filed for divorce. 2 years is a short time for marriage. It's a very short time. It's like, what is it that they could not work through that they had to divorce so quickly? And now he's with Portia. Do I think this is going to last? Well, I don't know. I can't see into the future. But do I get lasting vibes from this guy? No, I do not. So Portia needs to be careful, and she needs to just be ready and be smart about how she conducts this relationship. If they do get married, then, well, I don't know. I just hope things don't get very messy for her, because this engagement that has happened 1 month after they started dating is happening pretty quickly, unless they've been dating for over a month and they just don't want it to seem that way. I don't know. So do I think that Portia did the wrong thing by dating this guy and being engaged to him, Simon, despite knowing his ex-wife? As far as that goes, here's what I think. I think that if you're close friends with someone, then yes, that would be breaking girl code. But if you only interact with them occasionally as coworkers and you guys are not real friends, which I don't believe that Portia is friends with Fallon, then I don't see how what Portia is doing is wrong. Because if you think about it, Portia had to go to Fallon's house during the filming. They tell them what to do. They tell them where to go. They don't. The cast members don't just. They're not the ones running things there, so they have to go where they're asked to go. They have to accept people as friends if they're told to accept them. So if you don't have a say in who you interact with and you're being forced to interact on a professional level with someone, that does not automatically make you loyal to that person to the extent that people are trying to make it seem. I know people are going to say, oh, what are you thinking? This is breaking girl code. Honestly, I do not believe that this is breaking girl code because Portia and Fallon are not friends. I don't think they're friends. If you're going to be loyal to every random girl that you meet, in your office building or in church, then you're never going to be in a relationship with anybody because whoever you meet has met a girl somewhere, a girl that you're not friends with. So, yeah, the fact that she was at her house doesn't mean that they're friends. I mean, they barely spoke. They barely spoke to each other. How do people not see that? I think the story that Portia took her friend's husband is a juicier story, so people are running with that, even though they clearly are not friends. They never post each other, they never talk to each other, they don't hang out. It's like, no, the kids don't hang out together. They're not friends. They're definitely not friends. And if they're acquaintances, at what point do you draw the line and say, well, I don't know you well enough, and if we thought we were going to be friends but we ended up not being friends, and we don't communicate with each other, the show has ended so we don't see each other, how then do you gauge if you should be loyal to that person or not? It's very gray area, and we've seen many celebrities do this that have done the same thing and nobody said anything about it. So I feel like if you're not close to someone and you guys only encountered each other on a few occasions and no real relationship or friendship developed from that, then the kind of loyalty that you have for someone that you're really close to does not apply here for the simple fact that you two just are not close. As you can see here, these guys met each other, they've interacted, but they still went into relationships with their friends' former partner, and nobody said anything. Everybody was okay with it. So I don't know why this Portia's issue is just such a big deal. But yeah, I don't think that this is what people are trying to make it to be. But this is good for Portia though, because I heard that she got her second spin-off from Bravo. It's going to be a 3-part spin-off that she got as a result of all this buzz around her name. So that's good for her. It's good for her career, I guess. It's dragging her name through the mud, but I mean, that's the kind of show that it is. All their names are constantly being dragged through the mud. I don't know if that bothers her at this point. I think she's just focused on her career and her child. So yeah, she got something out of this. So even if the relationship between Portia and Simon doesn't pan out, at least she got her series. So yeah, that's something. Anyway, that's all I have on Portia and her relationships. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next one. Bye guys.